Hey guys, welcome back to Church Talk. Have you ever done some renovations to your church? Maybe you're thinking about doing some renovations to your church. Well, we've been a part of a couple or a few church renovations, and today I just want to share with you guys a little bit about one of our experiences a few years ago at one of our church renovations. Now, this church was a Church of God. Um, it was a smaller congregation, and so another congregation come in and they begin to have talks with the Church of God about not really combining the two, but kind of bringing the smaller church underneath of the bigger church, and it was going to be a church campus. And with all of that came a lot of renovations to the church as the structure began to change and a lot of changes occurred. And so today I was going to share with you guys just a little bit about those changes, and I want to share some pictures with you guys and kind of just talk to you about each picture. Now, what you're seeing right here, this one is what the church looked like when it was before we began any work. You could see the chandeliers, you can see the platform, the pews there. This is just the same shot. Just you can see a lot of pews there. This is a picture from the back again. Just another picture of the pews. Here's a better picture. We began to start to paint. They threw a little bit of paint on the wall to see what they wanted to do as far as painting goes, as far as colors. More of the same here. We're just going to kind of show you guys a few pictures before we really began working on it, what it looked like. All right, so here is the stage, and this thing it had like choir lofts in it, and it was no longer going to be used as a choir. We were going to be having a worship team and a band. So we began to rip out all of those risers, and it was all glued together. It was a nightmare. So when you guys ever go and do a new stage design and you want to rip out an old stage, be prepared for some real work. it was a lot of work. The next picture you can see where we've kind of already taken one of the risers out, started to clean it up and make the stage quite a bit bigger without those risers being in place. And here's a picture of just once again the carpet off the stage. All the risers are completely gone. You can see how much cleaner it is already beginning to look. Just with those choir risers out of there. Then once again, it's just a picture of the sanctuary from the front. You can see the front of the pews there. And then once we removed all the pews, this is what it began to look like once we took all the pews out and the stage was starting to get cleaned up. Now, if you've not done anything with pews are extremely heavy. Most of them are bolted down to the floor. I believe all of these were bolted to the floor as well. So to get those out of there was a lot of work. It was bolted into concrete. It was a time. It was a process to get all those out. These were long enough to where really to pick them up and carry them was not a good idea. So we were just able to pick up one end, put a roller up underneath of it, pick up the other end, put a roller up underneath of it, and we just wheeled them out to where they needed to go to. So if you've ever done any work with pews, you know how heavy they are. But if you've not done any work with pews before and you are looking at going with chairs, just know it's a lot of work. It's a lot of heavy lifting when you get rid of any pews. All right, here's just a picture, and he's kind of blurred there, but you can see this was a pretty cool process, as they had a baptism tank there that was not working properly. So what we done is we went in and we just pulled out the baptism tank, and we set our drum cage back there where the baptism was. So instead of doing expensive repairs to the tank and trying to get a new tank, we just decided that when we do baptisms, we will bring in a portable tank, or we will just go to the main church building that had a working baptismal tank, which wasn't very far away. It was probably maybe a half hour away. So anytime anybody needed to be baptized, they could go to the main church rather than at the campus church, or we would just bring in a portable baptism tank. But this is what we began to do, is just pull everything out of there. There's another picture you can see after he's done some work, and he's probably just looking at what he's got in front of him to do. We've already got all of it ripped completely out. So that's what it looked like without anything there. The next picture here you can see right there is a picture of the baptism tank as it is being pulled or rolled out. We're able to. It was pretty heavy. Or fiberglass. Once we got it out of there, we put it on rollers, and we're just rolling it out. We've already taken the carpet out of the place as well. And we're just rolling that baptism tank completely out of the church there. And then just another shot of once we got the tank completely out and we got the new floor down. Just a picture of the floor there. All right, now here you can start to see things are starting to come together. We got the new carpet down, and looks like some of the new lights are already in. The painting has been done, so everything is starting to get just a little bit darker. And some of you guys, if you don't know, the reason why a lot of churches are dark, it's because of lighting and because of having an online presence. Many years ago, churches were, they'd paint them white, they'd have just a whole lot of light, and not too long ago, probably 10, 15 years ago, maybe a little bit more, a lot of churches began to darken the sanctuaries a little bit, and there was a lot of controversy with that. I think during the time, people were like, "Hey, why is the church getting dark? Is this isn't a show?" But the more churches wanted to have an online presence with being able to use YouTube and use Facebook and be able to live stream their services, it pops a lot better on the screen. And when you have that darker atmosphere, but the stage is lit up well, then those the people on the stage will kind of they'll kind of pop on the screen when they're lit up. So I think that's probably a lot of it. You get into a lot of the bigger churches and things, and they'll have really intricate lighting and smoke machines and things of that nature, fog machines, and those things aren't so much used for an effect like a concert effect. Now maybe sometimes they are, but most of the time those things are used for lighting. There's a lot of purposes that go into that when you are when you don't know about it and you look at churches and you see they have fog machines and things of that nature. A lot of times you'll think, that they're all about production. But the thing is, the people that are about sharing that service to a mass number of people, they are about production. They want to produce something good to put online so people will watch it and people will be ministered to. If you're in another state or whatever, that word is going out. So a lot of it is about the appearance online. It's how the cameras pick it up. There's a lot that goes into that. And a lot of times when we don't think about that, we think, this church is just about, having a concert or whatever. Maybe some are. Myself, I'm not a fan of fog machines. I don't really like them, but I understand that when you want a strong online presence, sometimes you have to, you got to do some things that make your online presence better. And so that's one of them. All right. And this one here is the drum room. After we began to get everything put into it, we began to, here's another picture of it coming up. These pictures are a little bit dark, but you get what we're doing here. The drums they would sit back in there. Now with this kit, we did not have anything on that brick. So, but we did enclose everything else. The brick and the plexiglass was the only hard surfaces in the room. We covered up the ceiling, the walls, the doors, everything had treatment on it. We liked the look of the brick, and so we left it. It didn't make it too bad. The brick didn't really bounce as bad as what I thought it would, but it still would have been a little bit quieter, a little bit better if we would have covered the brick up. But We liked the look of it. It looked great, and you'll see here in a few minutes when we start looking at the finished product. Now this is the old sound booth. You can see the old system they had there. We went ahead and just took everything completely out of there. This is what it looked like up underneath. So if some of you guys are looking at that like, oh wow, that doesn't look very sturdy. Well, you're right. So if any of you guys are getting ready to do some church remodels, you may find some things in your churches that like, wow, how'd that work for so long? You may find some things like that. You have a lot of good-hearted people in church that just make things work. And for these guys, they made this work. It was very small, and of course they had pews right up against it. And if I remember right, I believe that there was a pew that went right up underneath of it, and the pew helped support it. So there was some craziness going on there. So let's get to the next one here. Just a better picture of the same thing. It doesn't look like it would hold up much, but it did. It held up, people, but we got it. We took it down. There's one of the new walls that you see. One of the walls is just up front that we're going to use in the sound booth. There's the new structure of the sound booth. We used 2x6 knee walls there basically, and that was the base of it. Underneath of it was open. I think we used 2x10s here, 2x8s or 2x10s for the flooring. I believe it was 2x10s, and so it was a good solid structure. Now with this process, you can see on the back wall right there, we had a few holes, and we used that brick structure, that block structure there to put our snake down through. We had a long 100-foot, I think it was 100, it's probably 150-foot snake. It was already installed, but it just dropped down on the inside of the brick, and we didn't want to see that. If you look in the back there, you can see the unpainted spot, and there's some holes in the wall there. We had a nightmare of a time fishing that snake down the openings of the block wall. It was really difficult to do. We finally got it. It took us several hours just to fish it through. It wasn't so bad when we, to get a string down through there. We just went up into the ceiling, found where we're at with light, so we can see where we were. We couldn't really see down into the block all that well, but we could see where we were at. We measured where we were at, got a hole in the block wall upstairs in the attic, put a hole in the block wall here, and found the right spot. Dropping the snake was horrible. Even though we tried to tape up the ends of the snake, make sure nothing was getting in the XLRs or damaging the XLRs, it was just to try to get it through the block in an older building. It was rough. It was very rough. So we worked for several hours on that, but we were able to get it. So when it come through the bottom, went up underneath of the sound booth, under the floor. Just a few more pictures of when we're putting the flooring down in the sound booth. Just a picture, I'm just measuring something out there. I don't know what I'm doing. There's the wall that you saw. It was up front a few moments ago. Now this wall, the way we done this is we put the floor down, and then when we put this wall in, we did not put it on top of the floor. We put it on top of the actual floor, the church floor, not the sound booth floor. Reason we done that is to give us a voided out area all across the front of 3.5 inches by 15 inches. So we could have those voided out spaces to where we can put wires down through and go wherever we needed to go up underneath the floor. We also had a trap door in there where we could get underneath of the floor if we needed to route whatever we would need. So that's the reason we went with the wall in front of the platform rather than on the top of. You can see here in the other picture of the voided out space that we had there. This is just a picture of the sound booth. after it's blacked out and just regular plywood put on. Is actually not regular plywood. It's a better grade. It's a higher grade plywood that we used. Now something else that we done pretty cool. You'll see here in just a second on the next picture. When it comes up here, there it is. Now we had a Mac computer that we installed, and the lady that done all the pro presenter and worked the computers, she was shorter, so she had a hard time seeing over top of the computer in the other sound booth to see what's going on the stage and see the lyrics on the screen. So instead of putting the computer up on where she would have to look over to the side or see whatever, we cut a hole, mounted the computer up underneath so that she's looking down to see what's on the computer, and all she has to do is just look at, and she could see everything, and it ended up being just really nice. It was a good idea to put plexiglass over top of it to protect it, and that way when somebody else would come into the church, they wouldn't even see the computers. They couldn't see or anything over top of the wall. So that was a pretty cool idea that we had, that we were able to implement, and it worked out really well. All right, next picture coming up. This one here is just showing you the soundboard that we had, just how big the sound booth was. It was a really good size. We did not have a digital board at that time, but that one worked really well. You can see again how just a different view of the same. All right, now in this picture, this one is showing you from it's a before and after. I guess actually it's kind of an after before, but the top picture there is a picture of the foyer after it was renovated, where we went with the white and the gray, and we put the TV on the wall and the welcome station there, so that when you come in, you have a nice foyer there. The picture down below is the before and is the before picture. So it just kind of gives you an idea of the update there that was done. Once again, this is a before picture. Shows you everything, where the instruments were at and things. Just a before picture of the sanctuary, and then coming up here we have the after picture. So this is what everything looked like. This is what the sanctuary looked like after the renovation was complete. Now we're going to look at a few things here. This is just a picture of the stage, how clean everything looked with the gray. We did need I think we needed some more lighting in there. The lighting just wasn't quite. It seems to be a little bit dark, but it worked. There's just a little bit closer up picture. You can see here where the drums. The lights in the drum booth are shining. You can see the brick back there. So the uplighting we had on the walls. So it really updated. It looked really nice. It's a closer up picture of the drum cage. The keyboard there is in front of it. It's kind of a dark picture, but you kind of get the idea. And this one here is this was during Christmas when everybody was doing things with pallets, and so we just put the pallets up and just a new stage design of the same place, same structure. Just an overall picture here of the stage design with the different lights and all the pallets on it for Christmas time. It's me and my wife leading worship. You can see where the drums are behind the plexiglass. The stage was pretty quiet. It was a really nice platform. Now in this picture, you can see the circular patterns on the back wall. These circular patterns on the back wall, those took a long time to do. There was a really good idea. What we ended up doing is we took styrofoam balls. We cut them in half. We had bags full of them. The pastor and some of the worship team members, we met together. We measured it out, and we took those half balls and just stuck them. I say stuck them. We just nailed them to the wall, just tacked them up to the wall, and so when the light hit them, it had this effect. It looked really good. We had a lot of compliments on that. People really liked that design. I do as well. I thought it was a really neat design. Don't remember whose idea it was, but I remember that we put a lot of them up. I was involved in putting them up, and I thought, this is in this picture right here. They look like LED lights that are really dim, but they're just reflecting the light coming from underneath of them. So, all right, well, guys, well that's pretty much it. That's all the pictures that I had from that design, from that renovation. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the process. This happened, like say, years ago, and I just found some pictures, and I thought, you know what? That goes along with what church talk is about, just about sharing things that we've been through and different things about church itself and about the local church. So I hope you guys enjoyed just looking at some of those older pictures of that renovation. And we have more to come. We have another renovation video that I'll be showing you. If this is the type of content you like, make sure that you hit the like and the subscribe button so you'll be notified when I upload new videos. And be sure that you share this for somebody that you know that's involved in local church and local church ministry. Share the video with them, share the channel with them. So guys, that's it for today. We will see you guys next time on Church Talk.